Oh, we're back. It's Normal Player Guy, and hello, you all lovely little sausages. Right, okay, so we have a new support memory boost function. This is actually pretty cool, right? So they actually increase what they do. I suppose it's one way of working this out from like the ever increasing difficulty of the game. It's just nice that they do. Here's a little look at some of them. So currently our bunch go to level 3 with one being at level 5, and we'll touch that on in a little while. But pretty much in a nutshell, here we have Oolong's Wish is really good just for like drop events. So you could use this just to really help farm or grind up specific units that drop. Loads of free to play units, basically. All the units can drop. This has no effect on docking events, basically. Anything that has a bonus drop reward would work. So anything basically from story events. That would include such the like of like items and awakening medals from such said stories. But mainly you could use them to just to grind up a whole bunch of certain different free to play units that could be great for well, just for SA farming, for example. But this one at level 3 it goes up to 85%, which is pretty great. Freeze of Fury at level 3 gives extreme class allies 20% attack for 2 turns, and I think that's up from like 15% for 1 turn against a superclass enemy. So that remains the same, obviously, but now you get a little bit extra attack for 2 turns. And of course, the opposite is Goku's Tail. Superclass allies, you get 20% attack for 2 turns against an extreme class. This is pretty cool. So all allies 3 key for 3 turns. Previously, I believe it was just for 2 turns or something like that, or at least for one, maybe two. But now it's for three, which is pretty great. And Fly Icarus. All allies 15% for 1 turn and recovers 15% HP when 70% HP or less. This is actually really, really good. Having that extra little bit of defense, extra little HP is going to be really, really nice. So, how do you actually level up these? Well, all these memories you do just by using them. Simply use them. So, when you log in, everyone gets the ability to go straight to level 3. You get all the available medals go to level 3. However, some of the additional rewards are you got to actually then use said one of these memories on level 3. Any stage, any stage will do it, so long as you can do it, and then that's pretty much it. So we'll have a look at what they do. Right, so Oolong's Wish, let's have a look. Yeah, so it goes up, I believe, was this just not like, let's have a look. Was this not like something before? So level 1 was 50%, level 2 60, 80. It goes from 50 to 85%. So that's pretty good for farming away. This one in particular, let's have a look at this. So coming in at level 1, it was 15% attack. So then it goes for 20% attack and 20% attack for 2 turns. That's pretty jazzy. So that will be the same for the Goku's Tail, which will be this one, which is pretty great. There was the others as well, which is, yeah, that's Goku's Tail's done. Yeah, so this one. So let's see, level 1, 3 key for 1 turn, 3 key for 2 turns, 3 key for 3 turns. Seriously, actually, this could be huge in a situation where you're probably going to survive, but just struggle for key because you got like a wonky team, maybe like Monotype Super Battle Road, because that kind of stuff is kind of easy now. I mean, that could come in extremely useful. And the last one was Icarus, wasn't it? Here we go. So the last one is Icarus. So of course it's 10% when HP is 70% or less, which remains the same. So now you get 15%, 15%, and a little bit of healing. Honestly, this is really cool. And honestly, all you gotta do is log in and actually use the item. Like use the support memory, and that's it. This is ridiculous. It is incredibly great. And of course, there is only one more to have. Right, so it's not on this, but there'll be one that is level 5, and this one in particular is it's a Bulma one. It's pretty good. It's actually it's actually one of the best ones going. So again, it jumps straight to like level 2 or 3 just by logging in and using the item. But the rest you'll be able to actually unlock this to level 5 under a certain condition, and that is to do a specific challenging event. So let's have a look. So again, level 1, what it normally has, you recover a good chunk of HP when 40% HP or less with a Pure Saiyans on the team, which is really nice. And just automatically at level 2, it jumps from Pure Saiyans to Earthlings, which makes it just just the fact that you can have Earthlings on the team means you can just use it in, for example, Earthling Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road when that comes out. I mean, it is ridiculous, right? So having it on Earthlings opens it up to like Saviors, it opens it up to Youth, it opens up to DB Saga, Will Tournament, Earthlings, of course. I mean, there's so many on here that this actually could work it out to. Of course, you now get at level 3, wow, goes to 50% HP, which is ridiculous. 50% HP, but you now begin to get 10% of stats. And of course, you now get 50% HP for 2 turns with 10% to stats for your Pure Saiyans Earthlings. And of course, what you really want, you want at least this, right? For at least the 1 turn, you get this, right? It's pretty great. So normally this will be once, period. The heal is just once, but for 2 turns, you get 10%. Honestly, so long as you get to level 4, that's not so bad. So how do you get this one to level 4? Well, to get to level 4, you got to do this particular challenge. Now, honestly, it says it's challenging, and it kind of is, because the only challenging event about it is the fact that while you got to use Vegeta's family, the people you can actually use is actually pretty bad, because it's, the best person. I believe the best lead is this guy. It's this particular LR. You have to use him as the lead. Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, he can be great, so 120%, and you'll probably likely run him as the guest as well. I mean, he can be pretty great. I mean, he's based around the Vegeta family, right? So that's great. And he gets variety of abilities depending on whether he's in the second or third attacker. So, that's pretty great. He can work out pretty well and can hit pretty hard. However, there is one particular unit you must have, and that is this unit, who turns out to be quite a beast on this team, honestly. Free to play easy 8, so really, really nice. Right, but this particular unit, they completely crush. It is STR, then it's int. So you want to try and load up on some, well, mostly physical units right here. But this particular unit, like, they are unbelievable, right? So the fact is, they reduce damage and have a great chance to actually reduce damage even more. It's ridiculous, right? So yeah, but yeah, and the this one, that's it, yeah. So they reduce damage by 10% with a medium chance. Oh no, here it is. Reduce damage by 22% with a 30% chance of additional damage reduction. Honestly, when that procs that damage reduction, it is insane. Even before the costume change, they're actually pretty decent. That is actually hugely powerful. They're giving a ridiculous buff of Vegeta family as well. But yeah, when they transform, they just become amazing. Honestly, they're probably the best unit on this, and which is pretty insane. But the problem is like, yeah, you can't use I must go back one. You cannot use, in particular, the Vegeta family units. Let me just go back to that page. So the large problem with this as well is you gotta love the ads. So the large problem as well is because you can't use like these LRs or these particular units, right? You're limited. So I mean, you can use this, you can use this, you can use this guy, you can use this guy. You can use the free to play LR. Begging pardon, you can actually use the Pure Saiyan lead. This guy, he can come in great. He has an easy A, again free to play. Pretty solid based around crits. He can do some pretty decent damage. So him, you'll trigger a few links with him. Who else can you actually have on this? Yeah, you can have this guy as well and this guy, but you gotta run big bad bosses. You can run this guy as well, so that's something, but you can't run like Blue Vegeta, you can't run Super Saiyan 4, you can't even run this guy who'd be an absolute tank. So there are very limited options in terms of the cast that you can actually get. But that being said, it's actually not strictly too difficult. You want to load up because so it's 2 phases, STR then int. The STR against Bulma, which is actually not too bad. You should be able to get through that without too much of an issue. There's a lot of physical units you can use. I can use this guy who can build up with each attack. He can do grey, but he does prefer a Goku unit. I mean, these are brilliant. You can use them. Let's see who else is on here. I can't strictly remember who else is on here. Oh yeah, you as well. So there are a few physical units on here which you can use, right? Depending on, this is where you might want to prioritize some like resources, Kais, etc., and orbs, just to try and buff some of these guys up. In terms of the AGL units, yeah, you can use him. He stacks up, does multiple attacks. If you get lucky, RNG can happen. So yeah, that is something. But yeah, and of course, a huge chunk you'll be relying on, like this guy's crits. This guy can be a great support, and of course, so can this guy. So yeah, that's something to do. So that's really the only difficult bit about it is just the sheer amount. Of course, the missions, of course, are pretty plentiful. Stage one, any stage one, I think any team can do it. Literally, any team can do it. But if you do it with Vegeta family members, you're going to get more Awakening medals, more of these EZA medals in sense for these support items. And then on stage two is where it really gets a little bit interesting because stage two on, well, it's say stage one, I suppose, but on Super, this is where it gets interesting. So this can be difficult because the Int Vegeta, if he supers the wrong one, you're probably going out. Now, this is support items, not memory, so you should be able to use that. You should be able to use the memory. In fact, the very memory you've been grinding away to get. And of course, this can be bad, right? So generally, you should be able to do it with the Vegeta family unit. That's not a problem. But the Earthlings, so the Earthling members you can take onto this. So if I'm right, I actually can't strictly remember too much. Yeah, actually, Ubi is one of them that you can take on. I believe this guy is one that you can actually take on, and I believe this Bulma as well. So, I mean, legitimately, there could be a few options that you could take. They would probably coincide around the recent EZAs. It's the only difficult bit about it. But yeah, so it's while it might be the only difficult bit around it, it's not strictly terrible to do, right? So yeah, so of course, so Vegeta family is the main key as well. Here's another thing: it's Vegeta family as well as Earthlings, which makes it extremely difficult because the event is actually based around Vegeta family. So it's really difficult to get those missions in on Super with three Earthlings. You're just gonna get absolutely handed to you. Right. But anyway, yeah. So this is pretty cool. It's something that they do to try and like buff the rest. And there's so many of these items now. Actually, it's utter ridiculous. They're starting off with some pretty good ones. I mean, all you gotta do is play the game. You just gotta use the items, and of course, for this one, it shouldn't be too difficult to get this to level 4. Honestly, you're not missing out on much for an extra 10% for the additional turn. I mean, just coming in at level 2, it unlocks for Earthlings, which is insane. And you just get this 50% HP up from like 35 just for level 4. Honestly, level 4 is the way you want to go, and that's actually not too bad. All right then, so that's going to be it for this video. It's pretty cool that they're doing this. I'm looking forward to see what else they do. Honestly, I kind of wouldn't have thought they'd buff this. I would have thought they would have just dropped another support memory that does somewhat similar, right? A more powerful one. Is as well, I suppose I should note, they've actually increased it from 500 to 1,000, meaning you can actually use the memory quite a lot because some of these in particular, they actually use an insane amount of film. Like this one is 170, right? It is absolutely ridiculous. This one uses 200, right? You got stuff like Oolong which uses 70, right? This one's pretty nice. You'll be able to get it for a couple of turns. 70, same with the with Goku's tail one, but this one like 170. So you'd only be able to rock this normally a couple of times, and then you'd have something like 60 real spare. But having up to 1,000 means you can actually get that for quite a bit of a while. So that's really nice. But yeah, so yeah, you'll be able to get this level 3. It looks like these items. It looks like the availability of the missions can go on for pretty much until well, they're made permanently starting from the 22nd. So yeah, so this will be permanent. There's no real issue as to when you actually can do it. As I say, all you got to do is use the item, and that's pretty much it. Every one of these has their own specific amount of story quests to actually fulfill to get this itself. But yes, all right, that's going to be it for this video. It's brilliant that they got this. Let me know what you think. But until then, thank you very much. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.